Hello and welcome, MLTV viewers, to the debut show of Tell Us More with Richard and Anne. I'm author Richard Linton, along with author Anne Scardino, and our desire and hope is to introduce you to some interesting people who are making a difference, whether it be in the business world, art, entertainment, music, or politics. Our guests might be your neighbors along the main line or in the Philadelphia area. We want to find out how they got their start, what drives them each day to keep going, and what their next steps may be. Jane Winchester Paradis, is that
Correct.
correctly pronounced?
That's it.
Welcome, welcome. It's lovely to meet you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here, especially during your first.
We're honored, so honored to have you.
This is a big deal.
Jane.
We're so proud to be based here. So I just love that there will be a show that talks all about the fabulous people that live here.
Well, that's great.
We love
Myself
that.
included,
we love
I
that
guess.
too. And as I had said to Richard when we first were start to talk about our show, I said, oh my gosh, we have to have Jane Winchester Paradis come here with Jane Win Jewelry. Because I started seeing women wearing your jewelry, I guess when you started your business about 4 years ago, and particularly on the main line and in Philadelphia and at the Jersey Shore and Avalon and Stone Harbor. And I started asking, who makes these beautiful pieces? What's going on? Who is this? And they said, people who had bought it, oh, it's a local person, mainline Philadelphia, Jane Win. And I immediately looked up at your beautiful website and was very, very taken by it. And so Jane does coins and she does dog tags now, which are very interesting, and charms. And I'm just wondering, what was it that made you think to do coins that have meaning? Because your coins do have meaning. Could you tell us about that a little bit?
Of course. Well, again, thank you for having me. Jane Win Jewelry, I started it 4 years ago, and I had always known I've been in fashion for 20 plus years, and we can talk about that later, many years. And I knew that, I have such a passion for jewelry, but I've also done design and marketing my entire career. And I don't even like the word marketing, but because I don't want it to seem salesy, but what I love to do is create a connection with people. And coin jewelry was obvious to me because I wanted more space to design. So each of our coins is double-sided. There's the design on one side and the word on the other. The word has a meaning. So you choose a coin to mark a milestone moment, to give as a special gift for, 40th birthday, to commemorate a graduation. And so there was real intent behind the meaning for each piece. And then the coin is a classic jewelry piece. It's been around for centuries. So that's how it all got started. And, we launched with 8 words or coins. And from there, we have expanded. Each word has its own collection of charms that goes along with it.
So what actually fueled this desire? Like, how did you even come up with this idea?
Well, again, I had been in design and marketing for a long time, and as well as production. So I knew how to make things, I knew how to market things, and I've always been an artist and I knew how to design things. The one thing that I did not know was how to run a business. And I was very fortunate. In 2006, I moved to this area to work for Lilly Pulitzer. And I was there for 12 years. That company was so good to me. And over those 12 years, the guys who are running the company at the time spent so much time and energy training and developing me in business.
Wow.
So you already had the background.
So after kind of being there for 12 years, when I left, I was a senior vice president of marketing. I knew that I could start a company from scratch and build it up. And they were incredible role models to me. So that was one of the drivers. The other was, we're a blended family of 5 on the main line. The younger ones were going into middle school. The older were high school and thinking about college. And I had been working so hard and traveling so much. I wanted to do something closer to home. Right. And I wanted the kids to see that it could be done, that we could start something from scratch.
Exciting.
And they were all involved. Drew, my stepson, made displays. We launched at the barn at Valley Forge Flowers. They were all there. They've all been involved in the company in some way.
Wow.
What a great family.
And your husband, Doug, does the website, is that right?
Yes, he is known as Mr. Jane Win.
Oh, I
Amazing.
love that.
Amazing. Love
Love that.
Because and again, this all goes to our business plan. We're a direct-to-consumer company. So while we're based here on the main line, we ship 50 packages a day to California and Texas every day. And we spend all of our time and energy marketing in the digital landscape.
Right.
So that's social media, it's digital advertising, and Doug and I are such a great match for a million reasons, and I feel very...
I have to just say, on your website, I would love the fact that you put, I am very, brackets, very, very, very happily married.
She made that very clear.
I love that.
Actually. Yes.
It is a second marriage. We adore each other.
That's nice.
And so because I have this design, marketing, production background, and he is in technology, we're really the perfect kind of yin-yang to make it happen.
And I mean, I think I think the website alone deserves an award. It's just so fantastic.
Yes.
Speak a little bit to how, as a creative person, I always find it fascinating, creativity versus business. So, as a writer, and Anne can also chip in here too, but I always tell people it's 35% writing and 75 or 65% marketing and business. Yeah. So can you put like a number on it? Like when you started out, okay, so you're creating, but then how much of that is then has to turn into marketing and business?
Well, it's interesting. I would agree with you that the design inception ends up being 20 or 30%. Okay. But then for me, marketing is such a creative outlet. Okay, I'm on Instagram stories every morning talking to people about things. And we're drawing things and sharing them and creating content, which is what we're doing right now, to me is a part of that creative process. And it's bringing those coins and designs to life. Yeah. So then because we spend so much time on marketing and creating the ads that run digitally, and we start running new ads every week.
Yeah, you're very current and on top. And obviously Bazaar and Goop have noticed you because they've written you up. I'm like, whoa, this is really big time here, coming here from the main line. This is exciting.
It's a very big deal.
Were you saying Harper's Bazaar?
Yes,
I noticed that as well.
Right.
Tell us, like, how does that even happen? Like, so obviously your content is fantastic, or obviously your attention to detail is fantastic, but how does it go to that next level up to Harper's Bazaar? You got a feature in there, or tell us what it was exactly.
Yeah, well, I think a couple things. We have only been around 4 years, but I have been in PR for a long time. Yep. And so we hired a couple women to help us with some pitching, and we just consistently kept reaching out and sharing what we have. And, then it becomes like a bit of a connections thing. We gift them our jewelry. They wear it and they get compliments.
Yes, that's how I noticed you. Same way.
That's really was the little almost surprise launching the brand. I knew I could make beautiful jewelry. I think there's something about the size of it that people notice. Yep. And so when we gift a piece to an editor and she wears it and gets 10 compliments.
Oh, of course.
So tell us about that person in the street thing, because I know you mentioned that again when I was reading about you. Like, why is that so important? That it was. I love the way you went into that detail about the fact that someone says, "Oh, I saw it on someone saw it on the street," or something.
Yes.
Someone said how nice it was.
Well, to me, that's the most authentic marketing that there is. For me to say,
particularly
I
with
love
jewelry.
Your dress.
Oh my gosh! Yes, from a mainline Kern Elizabeth. Yeah, I love them.
So for whatever reason, and when it catches someone's eye, and then it's so funny. At first, I was always showing people my phone. Follow us on Instagram. It seems archaic, but now I just actually printed cards, but with a QR code so people can scan because they want to buy it right away.
Right. Wow. And you know, Richard, you might not be aware of this, being a gentleman that you are, but women love their jewelry.
Absolutely.
It's so personal to every piece you put on.
Yeah.
You really think about why you're wearing it. And I really do think coming through the pandemic, meaning about everything is more important than ever. And that's shown in your jewelry. Did you see like a boom in the last 2 years with your pieces?
Well, yes, and yes. So,
okay. Well, there you go.
It was really scary launching the business. You know, we were little, 2 years old when the pandemic started. And I remember we had just leased a space in Wayne. And 2 weeks later, we had to close.
Oh, my goodness.
And I started crying. I thought, that was it. What a great run.
Wow.
But it was absolutely not it. Because we were, you know, poised as a direct-to-consumer brand.
Right.
So many women immediately started shopping online.
Amazing.
Well, there you go, the online stuff again.
It was, and this is funny. So, as you know, we have the names, the words behind the coins. Before the pandemic, our number one coin, and I'm wearing it today, was lucky.
Okay.
And that wasn't like, oh, hey, I hope I get luck in my life. It was, I am so fortunate and appreciate the luck that I have had.
Yeah.
So I loved
Great
that's
point.
why people gravitated towards it.
Yeah.
The pandemic hit and our coin that is called Protect became the number one immediately.
Really? See that?
I could not make enough. Everybody wanted to wear protection.
Yeah, what a great one.
On January 1st, 2021, we launched Hope. Because, and that was really before the vaccine, and immediately everybody wanted to feel hope. So these words kind of
they fit right in with how things are
it's
going.
genius marketing.
Yes,
don't you think?
it's amazing.
Because so just to be clear, just if people don't know, every single pen has the actual word on it.
Yeah, so it's on the other side.
Okay.
It's very
so
cool.
so I mean that is just because I saw that on your website. It says shop by word. And so you choose a word that's fitting to you at the moment. But I mean, so whose idea was that? Was that your idea?
That was my idea, and I actually wrote the words, and each coin comes with a card that describes the word.
Okay.
The Forever coin that has a compass on it says, "Forever find your way home to me." It's all about finding direction.
Touching, so touching.
I know. Sometimes
You wrote that.
and I wrote those before I designed the coins.
Fantastic.
Because that's what
So
it was about. Was that very authentic, genuine connection.
Yeah, it just came from within for you. Well, I have to ask, did you hit any major roadblocks? I know you said there was a little bit of trouble at some points, but like major things that made you almost want to give up at some point? Or is this going to work? You don't know if the business is going to work.
I mean, absolutely. And it's so interesting. I mean, obviously the pandemic, and that was its own ball of issues between having to close an office and factories closing and production getting really tough. But I would say the one that surprised me the most was, as I mentioned, I went from working at Lilly Pulitzer and, managing a team of 20 or 30 fabulous women where I went to the office every day and laughed. It was such an optimistic, happy brand. I loved it. And then all of a sudden I was at home by myself, start writing these, fingers crossed we can make this work. Of course, I had Doug, Mr. Jane Win. But those beginning days, I say being an entrepreneur is a mind game because you just have to be so persistent and consistent.
Put the blinders on and just do it, right?
And, I got told no a million times. Yes, we've been in Vogue and Harper's now, but I remember I had a trunk show scheduled at Neiman Marcus and they canceled, and I just thought, what am I doing? And I still ask myself that every day, but we've come so far, and now I wouldn't think about
So what's
that.
the daily routine like? Like you and Doug there, the kids go off to school. Give us a little insight. When is your creative
Doug has
time?
another job, right?
Yes, so he has a full-time job.
Mr. Jane Win. He has an
fantastic.
actual another position.
And we only have one left at home now, who's a senior at Radnor High School. So, we get up, we have tons of coffee, and I run over to our showroom where now we have a nice team of people working in our showroom, it's by appointment only, so people can come in, but we really spend our days concentrating on our online business. And in that space, we also ship out every piece. So again, I learned this from Lily. The distribution center was attached to the offices. And to me, you know, we write a handwritten note with every piece that goes out. And I look at those orders and I notice something. Oh, it's her third order. It's her first order.
That's
and
so great that you notice that. You know, I hate when I've called someplace that I've ordered like constantly something and they go, is this the first time, even a hotel, is this the first time you stay there? Something should pop up that says this is a return person. They actually had their daughter's wedding here at this hotel or whatever. They should greet you with, hello, so wonderful to have you back. A little thing that comes up.
Shame on them, because with technology today,
they could be easily
I can see everything that you've purchased.
But you know, I had the pleasure of going to see Jane's studio, and you talk about being organized. I've never seen anything quite like it. And it's so wonderful that everything is set out that you can walk around and you're not just looking behind a glass case. Could you pull that up? Could you see? Everything is there with a little information about it, what these coins mean. And you can walk around this table in a very beautiful setting, very inspiring.
Thank you. Well, we encourage layering. We call it the hashtag neck mess. That more, and really you're telling a story.
Is it like okay with you if someone wears something else that they already had?
I want that. To me, that's my favorite part. So even one of my necklaces here, I have our coin and then a special key with lucky number 7, because we're a family of 7. And this is not Jane Win, but this is.
That's so cool.
And people ask me, how do I create that layer look? And I say, go, we have the chain, start with a chain wardrobe, get, of course, a coin to start, but go in your jewelry box and start pulling things out, even a ring, and hang it along with that coin, and it gives it so much personality.
So, and what about like if a gentleman wants to go and purchase like
Holidays
would you you know, have you thought about how you market to the guys rather than the ladies?
Oh my gosh,
good question, Richard. I like that one.
So entertaining. So it has been such a lesson to me and not a surprise. So first of all, for the women on the website, we have a section where you can drop a hint and an email will go to whomever you would like to have buy you a gift.
So you don't have to worry. Your guy buys your wife something, you know just what to get.
And then from a digital advertising perspective, we start advertising very heavily 2 days before Valentine's Day with the promise that we'll overnight gift wrap it, ship for free, because it happens late, the guys, and it's urgent, and it needs to be all done, like no wrapping. So we do really try and make it easy. And we also, from my perspective, we just really want the women to get a great present. So if they say, oh my gosh, I need something right now, we drive it over on the main line. I feel like I've dropped a lot of packages in mailboxes.
Oh, that's great. And you know, I loved when I came in to meet Jane, I had a necklace on and we found a perfect piece that went on to a chain link that I had, a paper clip they call it, Jane, and added it to some existing coins that I had, and it just went so beautifully. So, but you really need a professional like Jane to show you what you need to wear, because it's really about proportion and balance. A lot of the design principles, anybody just can't put this stuff on. It's a little tricky. I think it's the thing with jewelry that a lot of women have had to learn how to do this. And you really need to be shown how to do this particular thing when you're layering necklaces.
Well, I do think it helps social media. We're online talking about it all the time and kind of giving the steps on how to do it. And jewelry is one size.
That's true.
And that's one of the things that it makes it such an easy gift for men to give, and you know it will always fit.
And does it get made in your workshop, like by a?
No. So we design everything in-house, and then we create 3D models. We cast them in wax so we can see what it will look like, and then we create a mold and cast the pieces in New York, in LA, all over.
By what is it called? A jewelry smith or what?
A caster.
A caster.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So did you have a question?
I was just going to say, like, I know you've done all these things, and do you have any other ideas, or are you partnering with anyone, or where can people, like, I know that it's not just your studio, they can buy it in other places as well, right?
Yes. So we're very focused on jewelry. I'm not going to expand outside of jewelry anytime soon, even though I have designed in my lifetime footwear and bags and lots of fun things.
Right.
It's all about jewelry. And I would say even more specifically, we're all about necklaces. But what we've been doing lately is partnering with fabulous stores and brands to create lines with them. We just did that with Kierna Zabet that's in Bryn Mawr.
Love the store.
We did a specific collection for them.
nice.
Goop, which is Gwyneth Paltrow's website. We do specific
Did you know that?
pieces just for them.
Say, the guys don't always know these things.
I have a quick story about Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, you do? Okay, let's hear it.
I arrived in this country about 20 years ago, and as you know, I'm an actor. I was on the bus in New York City, going to an audition, and there was traffic, and I turned around to this woman. I said, "Is there another way to get uptown?" And this lady goes, "Oh yeah, you should get off here and take the R line or whatever." And I said to her, "What do you do?" And she said, "What do I do?" I said, "I'm an actor going for an audition." And she said, "What do you?" And I said, "What do you do?" And she said, "Oh, I'm in the entertainment business." And I was like, I thought, I don't think she's an actor. Anyway, turned out it was, I've forgotten her name now, Gwyneth Paltrow's mother.
Oh, Blythe.
Blythe Downer.
yes,
Blythe Downer.
yes.
Just happened to be Blythe Downer, bless her.
Oh my goodness.
And I don't know
Stunning
how,
woman.
I don't know how it happened, but she even sent on our wedding day somehow. Maybe I wrote to her agent or something, but anyway, she sent a postcard to our hotel room the day before we got married, saying, good luck.
My word.
So I've never seen her again since, but I mean, I thought
Isn't
that's
that
lovely?
I love that story.
Good energy.
Yeah.
Going back to family though, what I thought was interesting that you definitely have this idea. Maybe it's because this is your second marriage, or I don't know. You tell me. But like you want to include your family. And what I find interesting is that nowadays, like, why not include, work, private life, work, it was always separate, right? But nowadays, I mean, it's definitely as a writer, I love what I do, right? So I kind of include anything. But just speak to a little bit about, how you came up with that idea of like including your family in the creation of your sort of concept.
For me, I think the kids are seeing what they call unicorns, like, internet companies that are built and they get $100 million funding, and that is fabulous. Yeah. I also think there's something to a privately held family business that is profitable and, really working with a business plan, the building blocks, it has core values. And then for me, wherever they go and whatever they do, they'll take that experience of knowing that can be done. I just don't think a lot of people get exposure to that kind
what
of...
a role model for your children,
exactly.
like with that,
Did you write those sort of family values or business values with them? You included them in that?
I didn't. I wrote the core values about the same time that I was working on the words. The core values for the company really are our initial building block, and then the business plan and the strategy.
And that was important to you, the business plan. I think you had mentioned that when I saw you in your studio.
I mean, I like a roadmap.
But did it have to be real long, or can it be a kind of one paragraph? Or because I think people hear business plan and they get scared. I wouldn't know how to write a business plan. What do I write about? So how did you do yours?
Well, it's actually not that hard. You just ask yourself a series of questions to kind of fill in the blanks. I wrote a blog about it. It's on our website.
I'll have to read that.
And so it's not a paragraph, but it's not so long. It's really mapping out, what is the company all about? Who is the customer? What do you want your sales goals to look like? What product are you going to make? Where are you going to distribute it, and how will you market it?
That's a lot for somebody to think up, like the average person. It's tough to start a business. That's a lot. But your background, you had this background before, so you knew what to do. I feel like if
you break it into nuggets,
so you think
it's not
new
scary.
Person could do that who never had your background?
With a fabulous idea, and oh my gosh, there's no doubt in my mind that anybody can do it.
It all starts with the idea, right? Right. Wow,
So you're local. Your children are at Radnor, is that right?
So my youngest is at Radnor. We have one out of college, 3 in college, and one senior at Radnor High School who's graduating, and I'm devastated. The Radnor School District has been so good. She's the only one of the 5 that went to Radnor.
Oh, interesting.
And I have loved it so much. I love our community. I feel so blessed at the experience that she has had there.
Now, what did you love so much about her experience? Like, because my 3 daughters graduated from Radnor as well, and I feel very strongly that the whole reason they are very successful today was the grounding that they got at Radnor. So what did your daughter do, like, that was so special?
It's so funny, because I went to private school and the other 4 had gone to, I went to boarding school.
Oh, okay.
We also sent one to boarding school. I didn't know the community, the experience that you have with a public school, because everybody's living right there.
Right.
So that pride really struck me immediately. I loved it so much. And then I think Radnor's just big enough where they have incredible opportunities for the kids. My daughter Tiki did the Med Careers program. She works at Riddle Hospital from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. every morning because she knows she wants to go into the medical field.
Now, is that part of like the senior kind of an internship thing?
Yeah, you have to apply into it, and I think it comes off of vocational training.
Oh, okay.
So she was able to see, on Friday she was shadowing in labor and delivery.
Oh my goodness.
And she came home bubbling with, I think that's what I want to do.
That's so exciting.
So she's headed off to Syracuse pre-med.
That's great. But I just have to ask Jane quickly. When I was at her studio, so she has this wonderful setup, and the 3 women that were working with her were so terrific. I got to talk to them. But I was very fascinated that you had 3 pieces of art by local artist Peter Strid, who's gotten to be very popular with painting of bottles and things. I mean, kind of a pop artist. What is it about his work that inspires you?
I'm so happy you asked that question.
I'm really surprised.
So I love art and artists. I love people that create things. And I just thought with this space, we are again by appointment, but we have people coming in all the time. It's a very eclectic look in the showroom. We have butterfly wallpaper and a giant library table filled with giant snakes and fun things like that. And the art, Peter started posting on social, and I immediately fell in love with his pop art aesthetic. So now we have 3 local artists who are represented in our showroom, and we have a trunk show coming up soon. We do, I would say, 1 a quarter, and we do it online so we can introduce all of our audience across the United States to these local artists.
Another example of her creativity.
We've got to wrap up, but before we go, one sentence, if you wouldn't mind, because I wanted to get this question in. But where's your favorite place to go, either for a cocktail or a walk in the park in Radnor? Where do you like going? One sentence, because we're almost out of time.
I'm in love with Chanticleer. I want to spend all my time there.
It's
and best
beautiful.
Pizza is Pala's in Wayne.
Love it. Great place to be.
Here we go.
Jane, thank you so much. And thank you to you, Anne, our first show. Hey! Our very first show. Thank you, Jane, for popping by today and being our very first guest on Tell Us More with Richard and Anne. That was absolutely fun and fantastic. Come again soon, Jane. You can follow Jane on her website, janewin.com. janewin.com, and on Instagram at janewin_jewelry. That's janewin, WIN_jewelry. Both my book, North Korea Deception, and Anne Scardino's book, A Tangled Affair, they are both on Amazon, and join us again soon.